Happy New Year and welcome to Tell the People, a program about our Catholic faith with news and information in and around the Catholic Diocese of Lafayette. I'm Stephanie Bernard. In today's show, Trista Littell interviews Carol Menard about pro-life activities in January, while the Michael Champine's talk is about the fifth commandment in the segment, What It Means to Be Catholic. And in a conversation with Bishop Michael Gerald, Monsignor Richard Green interviews Bishop Gerald about a look ahead for the diocese in 2012. And now, Catholic news on this January 1st weekend. The Lafayette Diocesan Office of Black Catholic Ministries would like to invite everyone to the annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Mass on Friday, January 13th. The Mass, to be held at the Cathedral of St. John the Evangelist in Lafayette, will begin at 7 p.m. Bishop Michael Gerald will serve as the principal celebrant, while the homily will be offered by Father Chester Arsenault. All priests of the diocese are also invited to join the bishop in celebrating the special Mass. The Mass will also include recognition of all those who have been nominated this year to receive the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Award. The South region of the Diocese of Lafayette will host a March for Life on Tuesday, January 17th, 2012, beginning at the Grotto on Main Street in New Iberia and ending at St. Peter's Church. The Eucharistic procession will begin in silence at 5:30 p.m. Upon arriving at the church, a Mass for Life will be celebrated. There will be a 5-day Rosary Congress with 24-hour adoration for 5 days following the march, and Mass with a pro-life rosary recited every hour on the hour. The Lafayette Diocese will host a Prepare, Enrich training seminar from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. on Saturday, February 18th at the Immaculata Center in Lafayette. The seminar is open to all priests, deacons, and lay facilitators who wish to be trained in the utilization of the Prepare, Enrich, Premarital, and/or Counseling Assessment tool. The training seminar on February 18th does qualify as continuing education, and those who are interested may call the Office of Marriage and Family at 261-5653 for further details and registration information. All men who are potentially interested in participating in the Permanent Diaconate Program are reminded that they must seek the approval of their local pastors before they are able to proceed with the process. Now is the time that a man should meet with his pastor and discuss his interest in the program if he intends to proceed to the inquiry phase in February. Men who are interested in the Diaconate Formation Program are also encouraged to visit the diocesan website at www.diolaf.org. The Diaconate section, located under the Offices tab of the main page, can provide much more in-depth information into the overall process. Registration for Virtual Learning Community for Faith Formation Cycle 2 is scheduled to open on Tuesday, January 10th and close on February 22nd. Courses within Cycle 2 will be conducted from February 26th to March 31st, and residents of the Lafayette Diocese may participate at the cost of $40 per course. Successful completion may be applied toward a certification in catechesis or toward the continuing education hours required by the Office of Catholic Schools. Courses being offered include Collaboration and Community, Evangelization and Discipleship, History of Catholic Social Action, Praying with Children, and Roman Missal. Coming up next, Trista Littell interviews Carol Maynard about pro-life activities in January.
Welcome to Inside the Diocese. I'm Trista Littell, Assistant in the Office of Pro-Life Apostolate for the Diocese of Lafayette. And joining me here today is Carol Maynard, the Director of the Office of Pro-Life Apostolate. Welcome, Carol.
Thanks for having me, Trista.
We're going to be talking today about January events 2012. January is a very active month in the pro-life community. It marks the 39th anniversary this year of 2012, the Roe v. Wade decision that legalized abortion on demand in our country. Since January 22, 1973, over 50 million American babies have been aborted, which means that nearly 4,000 innocent unborn babies are killed in abortion clinics every day for the past 39 years. Carol, what are some specific ways that we can do to restore respect for human life?
Well, Trista, during the month of January every year, Americans across the United States, pro-life Americans, stop to recognize the date, January 22nd, and protest it in some way. Some speak out in regards to Silent No More campaign. Women who regret their abortion speak out and give talks all over the country on courts and steps, and also men who protest the loss of fatherhood do so likewise. Some reach out to women in crisis pregnancies or to women suffering the aftermath of abortion. For example, the Rachel Vineyard Ministries for Post-Abortion Healing. And then some educate. They give talks to young adults and anyone who'll listen about chastity and God's plan for life and how chastity is the solution to abortion. Some wear white ribbons for life as a memorial to the 4,000 babies that are aborted daily here in this country. Some pray the pro-life rosary, which they can get through our office if they're interested. Some attend the National Annual March for Life in Washington, D.C. Others attend the Louisiana State March in Baton Rouge in January. Some attend local pro-life walks and rallies throughout the diocese. So there's lots of activities that's going on. This is just kind of skimming the surface as we talk about them.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about the National March. You want to tell us the specifics on the National Prayer Vigil and all of those other activities?
Sure. On January 22nd, which is the actual anniversary date, 2012, there's the National Prayer Vigil for Life, which is going to be held at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception in Washington, D.C. And then on January the 23rd, 2012, there's a youth rally and a mass, which is on a Monday now. So there's going to be the youth rally and mass at the Verizon Center or at the D.C. Armory. The mass begins at 10 a.m. and the National March procession from the Verizon Center or the D.C. Armory starts at 11:30. Now, the liaison for acquiring tickets for the youth mass and rally is the Diocese of Lafayette Pro-Life office. So people can call our office if they're wanting to attend that event with the students that they bring.
Tell us about the theme for this year, Carol.
It's Unite on the Life Principles to Overturn Roe v. Wade and with Love protect mothers and preborn children all the time. No exceptions and no compromise.
I know when I spoke with Nellie Gray with the National Right to Life office, she said with love was something they really wanted to stress this year.
Absolutely, so that we don't go with condemnation, or judgment, being judgmental towards those that have had abortions.
Well, tell us some specifics about the pro-life events that are going to be scheduled in January here in the diocese, Carol.
Well, there are several of them scheduled throughout the 4 regions of the diocese, beginning January 11th with our pro-life oratory contest for high school juniors and seniors, which begins at 6 p.m. and ends around 9 at Immaculata Center in the John 23rd room. January 17th, the South Region March for Life and the silent procession begins at 5:30 p.m. from the Grotto, Lourdes Grotto, to St. Peter's Catholic Church in New Iberia. January 18th, St. Cecilia's School in Broussard will have their pro-life school walk immediately following the school mass at 8:30 a.m. January 21st, St. Edmund's Knights of Columbus, Council 10293, Right to Life Walk. Praise and worship music begins at 8:30, and the walk begins at 9 a.m. Proceeds from St. Edmund's on Congress Street, Lafayette, to St. Mary's Catholic Church on Doucet Road. January the 21st, St. Landry Walk for Life begins at 10 a.m. at Our Lady Queen of Angels Catholic Church in Opelousas, and it ends at noon at the New Life Center in Opelousas. January 21st, we have the Louisiana Life March in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's the second annual Life March, State March. Begins at 10 a.m. to noon. People will gather at 9 a.m. behind the old state capitol at 100 North Boulevard in Baton Rouge. January 22nd, the Ville Platte Pro-Life Walk begins at 10:30 a.m. Mass at Our Lady Queen of All Saints Catholic Church in Ville Platte, and ends at 12:30 p.m. at Sacred Heart Catholic Church in Ville Platte. January 22nd, we also have St. Anne's Pro-Life Walk in Mamou, Louisiana. Departs St. Anne's Church at 10 a.m. and proceeds to St. Anne's Education Building next to the church. And January 31st, we have Notre Dame High School Pro-Life March and the rally, and the time will be announced.
Well, I'm going to make mention that there are white crosses on the lawns that remind people of what abortion represents. And it represents America's Holocaust and society's, I guess, falling short of protecting life. So we just want to invite everyone to come out to these pro-life events, and we thank you for being with us here today, Carol. And we ask folks to stay tuned because there's more to come on Tell the People.
Thank you, Trista and Carol. Coming up next, Father Michael Champine's talk is about the fifth commandment in this segment, what it means to be Catholic.
Good morning. Happy New Year to all of our good people, our viewers, our listeners to what it means to be Catholic on Tell the People. Today is also the feast of Mary, Mother of God, the great Yanuwah, January. Yanuwah was meant, they had the god January who stood at the foot of the calendar. That was the pagan Roman god Janus, and from the Latin, Janua, door, gate. But Mary, you see, is Mother of God. She is the door that we have access to God. And so today we have the great feast of Mary, the Solemnity of Mary, Mother of God, which coincides with the first day of the new year, 2012, January the 1st. We're reflecting in our teachings on the Ten Commandments. We're looking at the fifth commandment. Today we want to look at a third part in our four-part series on the fifth commandment, thou shalt not kill. And today, last time on Christmas Day, we looked at kind of a moral theology, a moral teaching of the church, thou shalt not kill, about the beginning of human life, and particularly with regard to God becoming a little baby, and all the mysteries associated with Christmas, of Mary pregnant, and Mary going pregnant to visit Elizabeth, and the encounter between pregnant Mary, Jesus, in Mary's womb, and John in Elizabeth's womb, and then the Holy Spirit moving between the two, and John the Baptist being baptized, we say, in utero. So the dignity of human life from conception until natural death. So we reflected on the church's long-standing teaching about abortion being murder, and the great horror that it is, and how we need to do all in our power to see it abolished in our country and throughout the world. We want to look at on this January the 1st, kind of end-of-life teaching, end-of-life applications to the fifth commandment, thou shalt not kill. And for example, one of the great horrors of our age now, and this has been with humanity for a long time, is that so-called euthanasia. Euthanasia, from thanatos. Thanatos means in Greek just death,